Or that, we intentionally build a diverse and inclusive workplace. Yan. So that's our first parang takeaway siguro that we want to make sure that everyone, understands, having that essential skill of empathy, right? Putting ourselves in someone else's shoes so that we can understand that even though that person is unique or different, right? Different from us, we can still seek to understand them, right? Before us, being understood by the other person. Kasi ganun tayo as humans. Our tendency is, no, I want everybody to understand me. 'Di ba? Parang ganun. Hindi ako yung intindihin nyo. Pero now, we have that, term that we coined earlier na we have to intentionally understand, right? Or learn about the other person first before natin ipilit yung our own opinions or ideas about things, right? Seek to understand, right? Before or then to be understood. That's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people from Stephen Covey as well. So yung may mga, naka-read ng book niya or articles around that. Okay, so moving on to diversity, right? There's another term that I will introduce to you, civility. They say that diversity and civility go hand in hand, okay? Just wanna correct this or set the tone that this is not yung civil, yung the term. I don't know if that's something that you use as well or you've encountered na, civil lang kami, right? Or civil lang tayo, yung parang, yeah, you can be yung parang professional or let's say indifferent ganyan, pero at the same time that you're not too close or you're not friends. That's not the term civility that we are talking about, okay? It says here the former is the acceptance of others and their difference. So that means yung diversity, right? It's the acceptance of others and their difference, while the latter is the restraint of self to show respect, politeness, manners, etiquette, decorum, and kindness. That's a mouthful. Bawal huminga pag binabasa yan siya. So, in short, ang definition po ng civility that we are talking about is the restraint of self to show respect, politeness, manners, etiquette, decorum, and kindness. This is from Ty Howard, another author and motivational speaker. Okay, so earlier, di ba, we stressed on intentional. Now, okay, we will talk about this term, restraint of self. Why do we have to restrain ourselves? So again, going back to our point earlier, if it's just our human nature, di ba, usually when we are triggered or when we are full of emotion, sometimes respect, right? Being polite, right? Or keeping our etiquette or manners, right? Or even being kind is the last thing, that as humans will think of. Kapag natitrigger ka na, di ba? Or you're faced with, certain, let's say, parang, ito yung nakakapag sa akin na ayokong mangyari na situation or yung ugali ng tao, right? Behaviors or attitude of people that do not really resonate with you well, right? Yung mga triggers nga natin or factors. And usually our tendency is, we also defend or attack, right? Parang ganun din. Or our emotions are getting the best of us. That's the reason why if we want to show civility in a diverse workplace, we have to restrain ourselves and choose to show respect, be polite, right? Remember our GMRC, yung manners natin, right? Show our etiquette, proper decorum, and be kind, right? So it's always a choice. And that's how we can actually thrive and be able to have a peaceful, encounter in a very diverse, workplace or environment, such as your organization or any, or environment that we are in. Yeah. sadly, choosing civility right now is an afterthought. Okay? Usually parang ano na siya yung later mo na siya maiisip na parang, ay, I should have been kind. Usually we have regrets, right? It should be your first thought of action in your choice of action. Okay? So that means that dapat laging we choose to be polite and kind, we choose to be civil all the time, right? Because unfortunately, being rude is so common nowadays, 'di ba? Yan, it is often, getting confused with keeping it real. Minsan sasabi nila na, oh, 'di ba? You told us that we have to be genuine or authentic or walang plastikan, right? So I'm just keeping it real, right? And unfortunately, some people are just, real and natural jerks or rude, right? Remember, when you show respect yourself, it shows that you have morals. And when you show respect to others, it shows that you have manners, right? So think about it this way. When you're respecting other people and when you choose to be kind and polite, it talks more about you than that other person. Okay? Kasi 'di ba yung argument natin, paano ba naman ako magiging polite or kind to that person, sobrang sama ng ugali niya or ng behavior niya, 'di ba? Or that, let's say, client, customer, or patient that you encounter that, sobrang, sama ng ugali or ng treatment sa inyo na wala naman kayong ginagawa, 'di ba? You're just, following rules or educating them on what's going on. So, remember, kapag you chose being civil or you chose to be kind to that person, it talks more about you, 'di ba? Hindi yung sa ugali niya. Right? So let's not worry about, how we will attack or defend or answer to that other person's, behavior, attitude. But let's be mindful that it would show me and the people around me all about myself. Right? So to be a winner in life, yan, sabi nga dito ni Ty Howard, let's choose to be polite and kind. Yan. So I hope, everybody will remember this, even though we're really put to a breaking point or a tipping point, diba? Na, again, this is more about me. This talks more about me, my behaviors or my reaction, my responses. It talks more about me than that other person, diba? And you'll become a good example to the people around you, especially if, you have kids as well, right? You wanna show them that, sometimes the war, yung battle, 'di ba? It's not about winning, right? It's more about winning within yourself or keeping that integrity within you. Yeah. All right. So that's those two terms that we have discussed, diversity and civility. Now we're going to jump on to inclusion. So it says here, inclusion is in the workplace is everyone's job. So it's not just your HR's job, it's not just your leader's job, it's each and every one of you. It's the job of each and every one of you to maintain an inclusive workplace. All right. So siguro po let's try uli si Marie Chris. Marie Chris, are you there po? Need your help in reading this
Good morning, yes,
Ayan. Good
ma'am.
morning. Ayan. Okay. Inclusion in the workplace po.
Oh, inclusion in the workplace is everybody's job. Inclusion in the workplace is a collaborative, supportive, and respectful environment that increases the participation and contribution of all employees. When applied properly in the workplace, it is natural for everyone to feel included and supported.
Yan. Thank you, Ma'am Marie Chris. There you go. So, what is inclusion? It's making sure that we prioritize collaboration, right? We support each other and have or maintain a respectful environment, right? That anyone in our team will not be afraid na mag-step up or mag-raise ng hand na, is it okay if we try this, or, step up and then raise their voice na, I'm having these challenges, I need help, I need support. That kind of environment or workplace is something that, we can say that it's inclusive. Hindi yung parang nauunahan ng fear, right? Or takot that, oh, what if, I share this with my team and they will just judge me, right? Or they will say things about me. Maybe they will think that I'm like this or I'm like that. Okay? So we have to set aside those fear, and it would be natural lang for everyone if we have an inclusive workplace that, they're free to speak their mind because they will not be judged, or they know that, people will listen to them. And it says here, when applied properly, it's natural for everyone to feel included and supported. Okay, so right now we're going to have another activity, or breakout rooms, or yeah, groups that we're going to have. So you can brainstorm in that room on how you can contribute to have a more diverse and inclusive workplace. Ano pa kaya yung mga pwede nyong gawing activities, projects, or anything, parang proactive approach in your current work environment para everyone will feel included, everyone will feel supported, everyone will can freely speak their mind or provide suggestions, right? Or ask for help or support. What are some of the scenarios that you can think of, or parang action items that you would think, is necessary for you to apply in your workplace? 'Di ba? What is it? It's instinctively categorizing people in things without being aware of it, right? The flaw is in thinking, usually it's guided by our past experiences or mental preconditioning. Like for example, ano ba? Sorry po pero yung mga bibigay ko sa inyo na example, baka lang po nakaka-relate kayo, 'di ba? Parang tatakutin ka ng parents mo nung bata ka na, ano ka, lagot ka, yung mga yung guard nanghuhuli ng mga bata yan, ng makukulit na bata, yung mga ganon. O, di ba? Parang, wag kang lalabas dyan, baka, kidnapin ka ng ng puting van, 'di ba? So lahat ngayon, 'di ba, yung mga bata pag nakakita ng puting van, inisip nila mangingidnap na, or parang takot na sa security guard instead na it should be parang our safe 'di ba? Haven na parang kapag we ask for help dun sa mga friends natin na security guards, 'di ba? Pero hindi nagiging parang traumatic pa sa mga bata, kinakatakutan pa 'yan, 'di ba? Or some of us, 'di ba, minsan takot sa mascot, yung mga lumalaki tayo, mga ganun ba? Kasi nga as we grow up, 'di ba? Parang 'yun yung natatanim sa isip natin. And as we mature, may mga na-encounter tayong people, right? Or situations that gives us those unconscious bias, right? And did you know that there are more than 150 types of biases? Actually, more than that pa nga eh. Okay? So may names sila. We have these, names or terminology for that. So they are real. Okay? And unfortunately, they impact us with our work or even our personal relationship. 'Di ba? Some of us cannot easily trust anymore pag may nakitang ganitong parang galawan or attitude or behavior, right, ng isang tao or even at work, right? Because we compare them to ourselves or even to the bad experiences or people that we've encountered in the past. Right? So, ngayon, how do we deal with our biases? Right? We have to be aware. Again, di ba sabi nga ni Ernie Baron, knowledge is power, right? So we have to know them, right? We have to read about them, recognize and acknowledge that they exist. Hindi lang siya yung parang, ay, di-dismiss mo lang, wala naman akong bias, ako pa, parang napaka-ano ko, neutral ko na tao, di ba, mabait ako. We have to acknowledge na possibly, meron tayong ganon, di ba? Yun, we have to be mindful of our words and actions, right? And second, think critically, right? So usually you look up, yung mga data or information about it na parang, oh nga, anong ba yung naging reaction ko? What was my response when I was placed in this situation? Did I do well, or was there anything that I can improve on in how I responded to the situation or to this person? Right? So it says here, like, look at the problem as a diamond with multiple facets, or do not just look at one side of the coin, look at both sides, right? It always has two sides of the story. So sometimes, diba, let's say one of our coworker will reach out to us, alam mo ba, this is what happened in the situation with this person, right? We also have to understand, okay, before we judge, because I am only hearing one side of the story, right? Maybe I can, ask that person as well, or even, witnesses, what really happened, right? Do not be quick to judge. Diba sabi nga dun sa isa sa mga words in the Bible, like, be quick to listen, right? Slow to anger and slow to speak. Yan. And number 3, challenge your assumptions and traditions. Whatever it is, the traditions that you have in your organization, right? Maybe there's something that we can do better, right? Even yourself, your personal assumptions, or the things that you got used to, right? Take a contrary view. Maybe if you look at it in the, another person's perspective, right? Ask people, ask help, research, be curious, diba? We established that earlier. That's when you will be able to find out, oh, it's not too bad at all, diba? Hindi naman pala masama yung sitwasyon or picture, holistically, or that person as well. Kaya pala siya ganun. Kaya pala ganun yung reaction niya, or how he or she usually respond, because he's like this. His experience is like this. Maybe he's not, well aware of the whole picture or the updates, what's going on, diba? And ask why and why not, diba? Kasi sometimes, di ba tatanong natin, why do we have to do this? Maybe you ask yourself the question, why not? Why don't we do it? Right? Okay? And embrace diversity. Ayan nga, sabi nga dito, practice empathy, di ba? Kanina, in one of our activities, we tried to practice empathy, which is walking in another person's shoes. Ayan.